Hey there, what's up guys? This is Bryan. Today's lesson is going to be a little bit different from the previous ones in that this one is going to be specifically catered to an individual. His name is Vincent. He's originally from Germany. He plays piano, jazz piano actually, and he also happens to be my course mate at Leeds College of Music in the UK. He's in the year below. So he's someone with a good understanding of music theory, I would say. Good technique, so he can already play. So in his case, as someone who can already play and understand music, what would be a good starting point to learn a few jazz chords on the guitar? I would say start off with this idea called shell voicings. I like to learn things on the guitar in the key of G and in the key of C. And that's because we'll be looking at the root with G on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. So learning something in G, we can actually apply it all over the fretboard as long as the root, the context is on the 6th string. And learning it in C as well, although we have a C on the 6th string as well, on the 8th fret, I'll try and learn different shapes on the 5th string's C over here on the 3rd fret. And that also allows us to go into inversions a little bit easier and a little bit more, it's a little bit more convenient if we learn something at the top of the guitar, as in closer to the nut, and then bring it down. Visually, it's easier to see as well. Let's start off with G major 7. So you will probably know like a G major bar chord with all 6 strings, like this. How we're going to generate these shell voicings is basically take away a lot of notes and only keep the important ones. As you know, the important notes are 1, 3 and 7. We often omit the 5 because it doesn't really have an impact on the chord quality, as in the root. That's very important because it puts things into context. If we change the root, it might change the key that we're in, or it might significantly affect the sound of the chord. If we change the 3rd, it changes whether it's a major or a minor, for example. And if we change the 7th, that might also change the chord as well. For instance, in the major 7 chord, we've got a natural 7, like a major 7. And if we're in a minor 7 chord, or a dominant 7 chord, we've got a flat 7. So that's why the 3rds and the 7ths are also called guide tones. Is because they kind of guide your ears to what kind of chord it is, what kind of chord quality. Let's go back to our G major bar chord, all 6 strings. If we try and play a major 7 in that bar chord, we will not move the root on the 6th string, but move the G on the 4th string, 5th fret, and move it down a half step. So it becomes an F sharp. We're going to voice it like this. That's a G major 7 chord, but that's very rarely used. Hard to voice in terms of fingering, and it's also too many notes. What we're going to do is take away the top 2 strings, so we don't have to bar the D and G, which is the 5th and the root. And we're going to take away the pinky as well. So we are only playing the bottom string, the 6th string, and the middle 2 strings, which are the 4th and the 3rd string. That is a G major 7 shell voicing chord. I'd use my first finger to mute the 5th string, so I can play it all in one stroke. And perhaps I can also change the fingering on here as well. Instead of using the second finger and the third finger, I'd use third finger and fourth finger. Some of you might already know this chord. We're just stripping it further down without the D note, without the fifth. And I would use my first finger to bar also the top two strings so that I can really do the Freddie Green comping thing where you hit all 6 strings, basically strum the guitar. But you're only hearing root, 7th and 3rd, G, F sharp, B. How would we make that a minor chord? All you have to do is flatten the 7th and the 3rd. So these two notes go down and you play, keep the root. There we've got root, flat 7, flat 3rd, G, F, B flat. How would we play a G dominant 7 chord? You would raise the B flat up to a B, so raise the flat 3rd up to a natural 3rd, major 3rd. So the B flat with the pinky, you raise it up, you've got a G dominant. And you might recognize this in a lot of bluesy tunes where the guitar comes like this. It's such a distinctive sound because it's got a flat 5 interval, the tritone, from the F and the B. Those are the 3 main chord types. That would be a good starting point. Now let's move on to learning it in C on the 5th string, with a root on the 5th string. The C major 7 chord, 1, 3, 7, would be C, E, and B. In this case, it would be a bit like a diamond shape. C, E, and B. That's our C major 7 shell voicing. Some of you might already know this chord from pop and rock playing. C major 9. We've added a D on that. In order to make it a minor, you know what to do. Bring down the 3rd and the 7th to a flat 3rd and a flat 7th. So there to there. I'll probably play it with the 3rd finger on the root. Remember to mute the unwanted strings. In this case, I'd use my 2nd finger, which is free, to do the muting. Just to do the muting on the 6th string, and I'm using the 1st finger to sort of kind of bar across the top 2 strings to mute them. Finally, we've got a C dominant chord. So all you've got to do is put the 1st finger up back to an E natural, which is a major 3rd. Some of you might know this chord, the C dominant 9, C9. If you played a lot of funk before. We're just basically stripping this chord back to its basic. So we were not adding any fifths or any extensions, color tones. Just 1, 3, and 7. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.